Sir, you can check your presentation, sir.
I don't have an presentation, madam. I will speak extempore.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Indu ma'am, shall I start, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Go ahead, Nutana.
Yes, ma'am. Once again, I warmly welcome you all to this Day 7 webinar series, a webinar series that's been organized by a college that's on entrepreneurship and development. I'm happy to introduce the resource person for this session, Dr. Raj Kumar, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, let me introduce today's session. Dr. Raj Kumar Singh has done his MBA from BHU, Banaras Hindu University, and he has done his PhD in commerce from VBS Puravanchal University, UGC NET Management. Professor Singh is a University Grant Commission Merit Scholarship holder for being the topper in BHU University. He has done his PhD topic is on a study of strategic issues of brand management in healthcare sector with a special reference to the Varanasi city. He possesses around 30 years of academic and industrial experiences. Before joining academics, he has served as a corporate world for over 20 years as a management professional in the field of consumer durables, FMCG, and pharmaceutical sector in the various leadership roles like CEO and group general manager in different national and multinational companies. Presently, Professor Singh is serving in the SMS Varanasi, that is School of Management Sciences, which is UGC NAC A grade self-finance autonomous institution, which is affiliated to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University, that's in Lucknow, and Mahatma Gandhi Kashi Vidyapith University, Varanasi. Over to you, sir. I request you to kindly present your talk on food product and development.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for providing me such a great opportunity from the entire Padma Shri Institute of Management Sciences, Bangalore. And my special thanks to Professor M. Anuradha, Principal, Professor Indu BK, the entire top management, the entire organizing team for inviting me in this webinar on the entrepreneurship development with a special focus on the product development, especially the food product development. So this is one of the very pertinent topic nowadays, because we need to understand that what is the importance, because entrepreneurship, one thing which is too much talk today. Now, all we know that nowadays there's a lot of focus on the startup culture and why India needs the food process startups. Recently, from last 2 years nearly, the entire humanity has passed through a very tough phase of COVID. And two essential things we have observed. One is the food products and second is the pharmaceuticals. Obviously, looking to such a condition, the importance of startups in the food product is growing day by day. Food industry is a very wide industry. It covers a series of industrial activities from the production to distribution, processing, the conversion, this preparation, the preservation, the entire logistic part, including the transportation, warehousing, certification by various bodies like AgMark, and its packaging, etc. Normally, it is process industries, whether it's related with the fruits and vegetables processing or some non-vegetarian processing like meats and fish, to dairy, to bread, beverages, and nowadays one of the sector is very much growing. That is organic food products. You must be knowing about that, because this has been one of the research paper which has said that in big metropolitan cities, around 3 kg to 5 kg of the intake of toxic material is being taken by per person per year. This is only because majority of our food products contain the chemicals. It may be through the chemical fertilizers, or it may be through the insecticides or pesticides like that. And so many diseases are being created. So that's why the organic food is emerging like anything. And here I would like to say one thing about one of the organizations which is very impressively working, that is a Kaushalya Foundation. It has been created by one of the IIM Ahmedabad graduate, Kaushal Kumar, and is working in the Patna of Bihar capital. And around 40,000 families are now attached to that, who are organically growing the fruit and vegetables. And these are being processed to the products also, as well as it is being directly supplied to the households of the Bihar and Jharkhand region. So there's a great scope, because there's one thing which is required everywhere. Why a startup needs to think in this direction? It's very important. It's a huge market. Around 1.3 billion US dollar market is there, which is growing at a very fast rate. It's a compounded annual growth rate is more than 20%. And it is expected that within 5 to 6 years or so, the things will be double. And within 10 years, it will be 3 times. So a lot of scope is there, a lot of things are there. But before going through that, I will try to draw your kind attention towards some of the macroeconomic effects that are very important to understand for any food product startups. As I've told you, it's one of the very important economic growth drivers. And it generates a regional balance. Regional balance is very important, because development should not be confined to just few cities. It should be developed. When 2 years back, the lockdown started, we all have seen a horrible scene on a television, that people from the big cities started coming back to their villages just for sake of the food, because they were not having the money for the survival for 2-3 months. This has created a big question that after around 75 years of independence, why such kind of situation is happening? What is wrong with our entire development model? And if you closely examine this, you'll find that we have created some islands of development in the name of the big cities, some metro cities, tier A, tier 2, or tier 1 or tier 2 cities. But 70% population around is living in the villages. And this 70% population and the village area has been excluded from that entire development process. And these people are the people who actually grow the food for us. They are having the food and food grains, and because of that, we are surviving. So we need to focus on that part. We need to work on that part to have a balanced regional development, so that the rural entrepreneurship can be promoted, the women entrepreneurship can be promoted, and people should not go outside of that. And we have seen so many good examples, classic examples. One of the classic examples I always used to give, you must have heard about the Lijjat Papa. One of the best example of the woman entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, and the rural entrepreneurship in the food product. And now a Papad-like product has become a branded product and it's running on the cooperative model and it's on the number one top. Likewise, we have seen in the past the great Amul movement, the white revolution. So such kind of things are very important for the balanced regional development also. So if you are entering in that area, you are serving the society also, you are serving the nation also, and you are serving the economy also. This creates employment on the top to bottom level. So employment creation very important. And capital generation take place, which normally have a trickle down effect to the lowest level. So if any industry you run in even a rural area, it affects everyone. The farmers who are growing that, the workers who are working in organization, as well as export, because this is a globalized market now. Now the entire world is in need of the food. And in this COVID scenario, this has become very important that no one is independent, rather everyone is interdependent. So there's a great scope for the export in this field of food products. And not only that, this generates the secondary entrepreneurship. Means you are the grower, but at the same time, those who are supplying you the raw material, those who are supplying the packaging materials, those who are doing the logistics aspects, they all are getting employment to you. So it creates a secondary entrepreneurship. And at the same time, you develop a skill. Just I'm taking the example of again the legit papad, that wherever you go, you will find the diameter of legit papad same. So this kind of a skill set you develop. Same product quality, same taste, same size, and newer skill development. Recently, Prime Minister has focused on, Honorable Prime Minister has focused on the development of the agriculture drones. This kind of ecosystem is being developed for growing of the food grains, which will ultimately convert into the food products. At the same time, if you are working there, you develop an entrepreneurship also. So this gives you a platform for the innovation, the inventions, new product and service development. And above all, there will be a distribution of wealth. Wealth will not be accumulated to few people or few reasons, rather it will be distributed on a wider front. At the same time, the human resource development also takes place because as you must be knowing, India is called as one of the youngest country in the world because around 60% of the population is less than 40 years of age. It is called as a population dividend. The problem is that if this dividend will not be provided a sufficient employment or self-employment, then this will not be a dividend. Then I'm afraid it will become a population disaster also. So to do this, we need to develop the entrepreneurship on the micro and a small level, especially. Obviously, then it will go to the medium level. So this kind of things will also help in the natural resource development. If you are in this field of food product entrepreneurship, you will help in the natural resources management also. Because basically, one of the good things with this kind of entrepreneurship is that you earn by generating the value. You must be knowing that in the rural areas, very small flour mills are there, where for example, in North India, I have seen that wheat is being converted into the flour in every village. But it becomes a product only when you just do the packaging, have a brand name, maintain the quality, and the same kind of food products become popular in your area. So this will help in the development of your area, the technological development, and above all, the social harmony, which is a very important aspect. Because what happens when the people get accumulated to one place in any part of the country, in one city, the population pressure increases. And an obvious conflict is started in the society. But if they will be distributed and they will start their own food product entrepreneurship in their own villages, then there will not be any such kind of situation. Two things are important, which we should know, which we should understand, that even in the startups also, only the 10% startups are successful within 5 years. 90% got failed. And when it comes to 10 years, around 1% startup is successful. Reason behind that is that we just have some idea and we start producing a food product and then search for the market. But we have not done any feasibility analysis. We have not make any future proper plan. And because of this, we got failed. Many times the cash flow is poor. We don't have any idea about the cash flow, and cash inflow is less, cash outflow is more. And above all, the one thing which we lack is the innovation. We don't innovate. In India, the innovation condition is not very good, although it is improving. But again, we require a lot of innovation, because we must remember one thing, that we don't just buy a product. We don't just buy a service, rather we buy solution. So as I've given one example, that people are suffering from so many diseases just because of the chemical foods, chemical-based foods. So if we can provide them a product which is free from chemical, organically grown, organically processed, and organically presented, then we'll solve one of the major problems of our body. And you must be knowing that if you are ill, a lot of money we waste actually in our treatment. So that wealth can be saved, and that wealth can be directed to some other fruitful areas. So these few things are there where why the startups get failed. We should understand about that, because the differentiation is important. The innovation creates the differentiation. I always suggest to my startup students that you should work on the 4-point formula, especially the food product startups. Think big, start small, grow gradually, and grow globally. And digital property is one of the best examples. 9 women started it. They were not very much educated. So they thought to start a big company, but start small. Just 9 women started it. And now thousands and thousands of women all over the country is associated with that. So you can understand the power of thinking big, but to start small. Because when you start small, you learn a lot many things. If you take the case from other examples, you may be using the products from the Flipkart or Amazon. Now, this is also giving a big avenue for the marketing of your food products. It's very easy to do all these things through the e-commerce mode. But do you know how they started? They all started by just selling one online books. Think big, start small. And now you are seeing. And third one is the grow gradually and grow globally. Fourth one is the grow globally. Grow gradually. When you grow gradually, then you learn from your mistakes. And risk is inevitable part, but this can be minimized. So we need to minimize the risk by growing gradually and grow globally. So far as the food product is concerned, I would like to say one thing, that this is not possible without the promotion of the agriculture and without the promotion of the farmers. Problem with us is that we never treated farmer as an entrepreneur. Every farmer is a micro entrepreneur. If you see the classical definitions of the entrepreneurship, the ingredients or the components required to be an entrepreneur is the land, labor, capital, risk-taking ability, and entrepreneurability. If you see the Indian farmer or any farmer, they all are having the land, they use their own labor, they employ their own capital. They take more risk than any person. Who take more risk than a farmer? The only thing which they lack is the entrepreneurability. So here, I would like to give the example of what I've given the Kaushalya Foundation, the Kaushalya Kumar, the young graduates, the management graduates, the young graduates, other graduates, they should shake hand with the farmers and generate the value for their product and start their ventures, which will be very useful for you. So we need to do a more and more research and development on that part, more and more innovation. For any product development process, first we need to understand the product mix. 4 aspects are important, like width, length, depth, and consistency. Width means the number of product line one company is having. For example, if you take the case of the lever, they make soap also, they make the detergent cakes also, they make the detergent powders also, they make the shampoos also. These are the various product line. This creates a width. Likewise, the number of products they have is the length. For example, in shampoo, they are having Sunsilk also, they are having Clinic Plus also. It's a length. And third is the depth, means the variance in that length. Suppose Sunsilk shampoo is there, so it is available in the black color also, in pink color also, in yellow color also, in various fragrances. And next is the consistency, means they all are available in one type of retail outlet, which are basically FMCG. So whenever you talk of such kind of product development, especially the food product development, you need to be very careful. What is your width? What is your length? What is your depth? And what is your consistency? Maybe in the beginning, you don't follow this because in the beginning, you start with one product. Suppose you start with a pickle. Now, pickle is your one product line. But in pickles, you will have a various of numbers of pickles, various kinds of pickles. Maybe the mango, maybe you are using the lemon, maybe you are using the ginger or any other kind of things. So what happens? You create a big product line. Likewise, when you start producing the jam, then jam is also having a various flavors. So when you create a product line of jam, and when you create a product line of pickles, then this will be your width. So likewise, you need to increase your length and then you go for the depth also. Suppose in that you are having other variants, then it will be depth. But one thing is sure that they all will be available on the same kind of retail outlet, which is basically having the Kirana stores or like that, or some organized stores like Spencer, then this will be a consistency. So all these product mix are basically affected by four kind of things. One is the age. Age means how long the product is consistently being sold in the market. It's a stability, it's sustainability. And the identity. As I have told you that whenever you say ledger, only thing which comes to your mind is the papa. That strong brand identity the Lijjat is having. Likewise, other products are there. You say Kisan, the things come to your mind is the jam, tomato sauce. So something like that, Nestle, if you say Maggie, tomato sauce comes. So such kind of things, you just work on that part, whether the things are in the consistency of your brand positioning or not. And third aspect is the area of operation. Whether you are working in the rural area or whether you are working in the urban area, it all depends upon the area. You changes your strategy, all the aspects, whether it's a product, whether it's a price, whether it's a distribution aspect, whether it's the place or promotional aspects. And very important is the financial aspects. So keeping in view of all these things, you need to analyze all aspects. Now I'll come one by one, especially the food product development process. First is the idea generation. See, when you talk about the food product, one of the various very important aspect is the packaging. So many times the product is same, but you just change the packaging and a new product arises. For example, I will take the case of tomato sauce. Earlier, whether it's big companies like Kisan or Maggie or some other brands, they were present in the glass bottles, big size bottles. Then they gradually reduced it. And now you can see the products are available even in the small sachet also, or in some collapsible, flexible packagings also where they are having a cap, you can use it and reuse it. So you see the same product is there, same tomato sauce is there, but with the changes in the packaging, they created various products. So this is with the idea generation. Means when you are developing an idea, try to understand that in your food product, whether this is going to solve certain problem of the customer or not. When it's a collapsible packing and you are having a cap, a small cap in that packing, you are solving one problem. And that problem is that it is not a heavy bottle. You can carry it with you during your touring, or suppose you are a student living in a hostel, you can use it. You don't have to occupy major space for that. But if you don't want to use that, you can have a small sachet also, where you can just use it and just throw it away. As you may have seen in the big restaurants or McDonald's like restaurants, where this kind of use and throw mechanism is there. So first stage is to have the ideas. You will have a multiple ideas. And first you have to generate the idea. When you generate so many ideas, then the second stage comes, which comes under the idea funnel. Means you screen the idea and try to develop the best out, screen out the best idea. And then you start develop the concept, because this comes from the problem. Example I've given you, the sachet, a small sachet of 1 rupees. Instead of having a bottle of 70 rupees, 80 rupees, just 1 rupee sachet, and at least 2 people can use that. So this is what? This is only the magic of that packaging. You convert that product in a small sachet. And this sachet revolution is coming everywhere. You're using the shampoo also with a small sachet. You're going in a tour. You don't need to have a big bottle with you. Just have few shampoos, sachet, and you can use that. Just sachet of some tomato sauce, you can use that. So this kind of concept, when you develop, you need to test in the market by having a small prototype. What the consumer is thinking, what consumer is saying about your product, what is their opinion. Even if you have developed a sachet, whether it is easy to open or not. Because being a consumer, you want a product which is consumer friendly. And being a producer, you should provide a consumer friendly product. After that, you think of your marketing strategy. Marketing strategy is a big thing, but I will tell you one by one. First stage is the product development, as we are working, but product development is not a thing which is simply a development of product. Rather, you need to ensure whether it is being properly priced or not. Proper pricing is very important. You need to be very careful that your pricing is closely attached with the brand positioning of your product. Suppose a premium product is there, it needs to be highly priced. So you may have gone through one of the brand Catch. The Catch salt and Catch pepper powders are there. It's quite costly, but they know that they belongs to a specific kind of segment. So accordingly, because initially you need to do the segmentation, targeting and posting, means to divide the market into various segments. And then you target on one market and create a brand positioning of your product in the mind of people in such a way that if anything they have to purchase, that only that brand comes to the mind. Suppose one has to purchase the tomato sauce, the only two brand comes. So Kisan or the Mrs. Maggie. So likewise, you have to work on that and work on the distribution angle, that is the place. Because products availability are also very important. You have made excellent product, but if it is not available in the market, it's of no use. And whether it is present in the market or not, this has to be communicated to the consumer through the mass communication, media. And that all comes from the part of the promotion, advertising, publicity, public relation, some exhibitions, some personal selling, some other sales promotion schemes. So accordingly, when you do all these things, so you do what you do actually, you actually deploy deploy your entire resources in the market so that your product can be sold properly. And this is the way you work. Here, the one of the good strategies to do a test marketing means you just pick up one small market and apply all kind of marketing strategy in that market and see that. Many times this strategy is done on various kinds of market. For example, you select the market in grades, grade A market, grade B market, grade C market. The big metropolitans comes on the grade A. Then some cities, small cities, they come on the grade B, and then the interiors of the rural areas, rural towns, they comes under the C. And then just pick up one or two districts in each grade and just launch your product and see the response. Response of your end user, response of your distributor, response of your retailer. And if you find that, okay, they are having certain suggestions, you can reincorporate that suggestion. If you are having some innovation, you can improvise it also, because innovation is one thing which is very dynamic. It is not static. So you have to move step by step, because consistent iteration is a very important phenomenon. So if you just think from, you just summarize it. Idea generation screen is very important. Then you do a product specification. Means if any product is there, you need to work on the specification. What will be its ingredient? What will be its standard operating procedure? This is very important in the food product, SOP. Why? Because every time the taste should be the same, the color should be the same, the texture should be the same. Why? Because if there will be any difference, then you can think that there is some malpractices going on. So it's a consumer perception. That's why they make a standard operating procedure. The basic principle behind that write what you have done and do what you have written. So if you are making a tomato sauce or a papad, follow the pattern, the ingredients, all these things, process, write it step by step, and every time follow the same step. So what will happen? A sort of food standardization will take place. Nowadays, organizations are there like FPOs, like EGMARKs, they're focusing on the standardization of food. And then do a market research. Likewise, other things you should also specify on their packaging. What are the ingredients? What is their manufacturing date? What is their expiry date? Their price, the batch number, etc., etc. Market research is very important, because when we do a marketing, the basic principle is to find out the need and want of the customer and design the product accordingly so that they can be satisfied. Now the time has changed. Now the focus is more on providing the customer the product in such a manner that they can be delighted. When you are expecting something from someone and the things are not being delivered, you are dissatisfied. And if they deliver, you are satisfied. And if whatever you are expecting to deliver more, you are delighted. We need to have a delighted customer to make it a loyal customer. So do the market research accordingly and do a proper feasibility study. These people don't do, that's why they get failed. What is their commercial feasibility? What is the technical feasibility? Means, do you have the sufficient technology for that? And human resource feasibility, the skilled human resource. When I was talking to you about the population dividend, here I would like to say one thing, that many of the researches has been done by so many government bodies and other bodies, AICT or SHM. And everybody is saying that only less than 20% people are employable, means only less than 20% people are having the required skill sets. Rest 30% are just having the degrees. They don't have the required skill sets. So you need to initiate to have that kind of skill development. So feasibility study is basically the commercial aspect, the technical aspect, and the human resource aspect. You need proper people with you. You need sufficient money, and you need to manage the sufficient money also. And you need a sufficient kind of technology also. But when you require what kind of technology, it all depends upon the time. And very important aspect, as I've told you, the standard operating procedure, that your process development. See, when you develop a product on a small scale level, the things are easier. But when you grown up, when you scale up on a large scale, then things will become different. So accordingly, you have to go through, and obviously time to time you need to develop the prototype and then test it, as I've told you, in the test marketing, and see what people are responding, how they're responding. So this is a way you move, because in any product development process, latest technology is playing a vital role. Earlier, you may have seen that this product like Maja or Fruity, they were only coming in the plastic bottles. Now they're coming in Tetra packs. So obviously, when you are trying to have any product in the Tetra pack, your cost of production increases. You need to have that kind of Tetra pack. You have to purchase printed Tetra pack. You must have a Tetra pack packaging machine. So what happens? You invest in that technology. But to do that, as I've told you, you need to have a proper consumer research, and you need to work on the full product design. So when they have first developed the Tetra pack, they have seen that how it will look like. So it's very light, it's paper made, so decomposable, it's easy to use and throw. It was preferred over the plastic because plastic is harmful for the environment. You must be knowing it cannot be decomposed, even the millions and millions of years. And then accordingly, whatever your product you're developing, you need to work on your production, research, and design, because ultimately the things has to be produced. So where the machine will be installed, what kind of machines will be required? Not only filling machine will be required, but sealing machine will also be required. Packaging machine will also be required. You have to design a production layout. So production research and design is required, which will be in accordance with the marketing research, as I've told you earlier. So the consumer research, the food product design, and the technological designs, these three things are interrelated. Because when you develop a concept and test in the market, many a time the things will be changed. So initially you don't scale up very fastly. You go gradually, as I've told you. Think big, start small, grow gradually. Gradually. You will learn so many things. After a certain period of time, you have developed enough confidence in you, you have developed a sufficient product, and then obviously you can scale up fastly. But before that, you need to do all these things. Nowadays, one concept is becoming very popular, which is called a minimum viable product. The product is having enough feature to attract early adopter customer, and it validates idea early in the product development cycle. Likewise, the Tetra Pak. Tetra Pak was one idea which has attracted customers, because they were having a problem that take a bottle, use it, and bottle was also of a big size, and where to throw it, how much you can reuse it. But now with the minimum viable product concept, you can start with on a small scale level, but with attractive features. What will help? This will help in the product team to receive the user's feedback very quickly, and they can improvise the products. So the foundation of any product starts from the minimum viable product. Because see, there may be some product development which nobody wants. You just remove it. You only want that kind of product which is user friendly. If you see the Tetra pack of Fruity, you'll find there is a place. You will have a straw. Straw is attached with that. You can just pierce it and you can use it. So this is user friendly. That's why it is popular. Because otherwise, what we were doing, they were having the all sort of things, brilliant design, usability, reliability, and functionality, all these things were there. But they were using all these things step by step. But now what happens in one product, you are taking all the features at a time. So how will you plan for that kind of things? You have to identify and understand the business need. You have to understand the long-term goal of the product and work on the mission, that why you are doing this. Because whenever any idea comes to your mind about your product development, ask 4 questions. First question will be, what is the problem to which your product is going to solve? Whether it is a test aspect, packaging aspect, availability, or maybe mixed of all. And second, whether you are going to give solution which is being acceptable by the people or not. And third, whether your pricing is reasonable enough to be accepted by the people or not. And fourth, whether your customer is delighted enough, loyal enough to tell others about your product or services. Because if you are just, and again, I will take the example of some other area like Flipkart or Amazon. They all have worked on 3C model, the cost, choice, and convenience. So choice is one of the important aspects. In fruit juices, if you see, they are having multiple choices. Mango will be there, banana will be there, pineapple will be there, orange will be there, because everybody is having a different kind of flavor preferences. So you need to have a choice. You need to work on the quality, but manage the cost also. And convenience. All these e-commerce models are providing you convenience. They are supplying the goods at your doorstep. You are having multiple choice. You can choose any sort of products on their platform. So these 4 aspects are very important. And prioritize your hypothesis. Whatever you want to say, prioritize it. That okay, on the first point, suppose if your organic product is there, food product is there, what will be your hypothesis? That by using our product, you will be free from the chemicals. And you have to keep all these things in the mind of the consumer. That okay, this product is free from any chemical and we should purchase this kind of product. So this is one aspect. Second, you need to prioritize your target customer. Who is going to be a target customer? Normally, it is very common that products like fruity, we are having a target customer of children. But if you ensure that the product is free from any kind of insecticide or pesticide or heavy metal, then only it will be preferred. You may remember in one case of Maggi, it was said that the Maggi contains some heavy metals like lead and cadmium. People stopped consuming the Maggi. The legal case takes place, and after a few months, they came out of that. And then they showed that we don't use any heavy metal. Why people were sensitive? Because as you know, now the Maggies are being used by the children. But the owners of responsibility are on the shoulder of the mother. And every mother is very much sensitive about their children. She will never use any product which can harm their children. She even compromises with their health, but never makes their children's health in danger. So this kind of emotional dimensions are there. You need to be very clear that maybe the user is children, but decision maker is the mother. So who is your target customer? Obviously, you have to make a fine balance between two. And you need to identify the success criteria. The food should be Product should be, as I've told you, 3 C's: cost, choice, and convenience. Cost-wise effective, quality-wise effective, there should be sufficient choice. And obviously, the availability should be convenient. So you need to work in such kind of way and understand that your entire business should have a business viability in that way. Because there's two strategies. One is called the red ocean strategy and another is the blue ocean strategy. The red ocean strategy is that where the competition is too much. And blue ocean strategy means that you create some innovation and you come out of that too much competition and create your own niche, your own market. So in your food product development process, you have to focus more on the innovation part, because learning should build a unique product which can be measurable. Likewise, if on the innovation front I'm coming, innovation depends upon the demand and supply. So if demand is decreasing, obviously you will have to innovate. You can regenerate yourself, but you have to do innovation management, because mere having innovation is not important. How the innovation journey is moving and how the innovation process is being managed by the company is very important. So whatever idea is, do this concept validation by the people who are the stakeholders, especially the end users. Do a demo plan, and with the customer validation, then derive a growth plan. There is one concept in the food innovation, food product innovation, which is called a design innovation process. This comprises of 3 parts: the technology, business, and the human value. As I've given you one example of the Tetra Pak, that was the technology part. You need to have that kind of technology. But at the same time, you need to understand the human values, usability, and desirability. Here, it was successful because it was liked by the children. And it was easy to use. Just have a straw, just pierce it, and you can use it, and then throw it. Only these 2 aspects will have a components, 2 components, and that will help in understanding the business viability of the product. So when you understand the best, suppose Tetra Pak technology, you understand human desire, you understand. This will help in the development of design and interactivity. And if you understand the technology and business viability, then obviously the manufacturing will be affected. And if you understand the human values, usability and desirability and the business viability, then your organization behavior will change. Because apart from having your best of the best idea, the important thing is to understand the market need. What is the cost benefit of introducing such kind of product, food product in the market? What is technical feasibility and what is the strategy? So in your entire innovation management process of the food product, your idea should be supported with the project justification, and accordingly do the product development, and then you scale up and launch. In that very process, there is one concept of the design thinking process. You must understand that. The first step is to empathize. Suppose you are developing a food product from the purpose of a children. So you have to explain the things from the children's point of view. How children will think while using this kind of product. You can discuss with them, they will give you so many good feedbacks, you can implement it. Then define the issue. Then ideate it. And then you develop a small prototype. Because development of a tomato sauce from a big bottle of Kisan or Maggi to a small sachet has gone through that way. For a small children, using of a sachet is easier. Having a big bottle, opening the cap, then flowing it, then using the sauce, and it comes out of proportion also many times. Many times the sauce gets wasted also. And then when you develop a prototype, you test it and implement it. So these are the various ways through which the things moves on. Many times the packaging plays an important role. Packaging is having its own importance. Without packaging, you cannot think of having a successful product. And very important aspect is making a business plan. You can take an analogy, and suppose you don't make an architecture plan and make a building. How much of your resources will be wasted? How much space will be wasted? How much money will be wasted? How much man hour will be wasted? So one of the major reasons behind the failure of the startup is that they don't make a proper business plan and they enter. You need to do a proper marketing strategy. You need to do a proper financial study, which is very important. You need to do a proper human resource strategy, operational strategies, logistic strategies, every kind of strategies you need to know. And first do one thing, that you write a standard business plan. Here from this platform, I will request the concerned bodies that you should organize, maybe you may be organizing also the business plan contest for the students, so that they can learn how to make a proper business plan. So making a business plan is very important. So make all these business plans before entering into that. And one of the important point which I will touch now, because time is less, so just within 5 minutes I will cover, and then we'll have a question answer session also. And that is an IPR, intellectual property right. There are 4 parts. First is the patent, which includes the design patent. For example, I've given you the example of this kind of flexible packaging of the Kisan sauce, where you are having a small cap also. You can patent the design. No other person can copy that. The patent is there. Second is the trademark. You are using one trademark. For example, you are using Lijjat Papad. So Lijjat is a trademark. This has to be registered. And then is the copyright. Copyright is the text. This can be anything. Even the text on your website is also part of your copyright. Whatever you have mentioned, your advertisement is a part of copyright. And fourth one, which is very important, is the GI, geographical indicators. Many food products are popular by one place, like Maliabadi Aam or Langda of Banaras. I can take another example. I live in Banaras. You may have heard about the Banarsi sari. So any sari which is made in Banaras is called the Banarsi sari. Means any sari which is made in the Varanasi, or Kanjivaram silk made in the Kanjivaram. So you cannot do that you make a sari somewhere else and name it a Kanjivaram. This can be done only when it is made in the 50 kilometers radius. Darjeeling tea. The tea leaves which has been taken from the tea garden of Darjeeling will be called a Darjeeling tea. It is not that you take a tea from Assam and you make it a Darjeeling tea. Assam tea is a different, Darjeeling tea is a different, Kosan tea is a different. So this comes under geographical indicators. Or basically, GI is majorly used for the skill-based product of agriculture sector also and other sectors also. So with the IPR, you need to protect your brand, because otherwise what will happen if you have not protected your trademark, some other person can use that trademark. And using others' trademark is a non-bailable offense. Likewise, the convictions are also there. Having a plagiarism is a serious offense. So that's why for any project report or research paper, it is said that plagiarism should not be more than 10%, because otherwise it will be a violation of the copyright. So we should be very much aware of this kind of things, the patents, the trademarks, the copyrights, and the GI, and try to, because GI is one thing which is not being protected by a single person, rather this is being protected by the associations of that region, because this is not an individual right. But patent, copyright, and trademark can be given individually also and institutionally also. So these are few of the things which I've told you, and in the one sloka I will conclude, and then we may have a question answer session. that Uddamen hi siddhanti karyani na manorthe nahi suttasya singhasya pravashanti mukhyam lega. So mere dreaming is not important. You need to work hard to achieve something. Just like the deer automatically doesn't come in the mouth of a lion. To hunt it, lion has to do hard. So thank you very much for inviting me. And if anyone is having any question, I would be happy to answer that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for delivering an effective talk by giving us more insights on food product development. Now the session is open for open discussion. Participants, if you have any queries, you can please ask to sir.
Ma'am, Principal Ma'am, I would like to ask you to add some few words about the session.
Well, thank you very much, sir. It was very good session and very informative, and this is an extra session and a wonderful session. Thank you very much, and it will be of great help for our students. And most of the students are listening in groups because we have already started with offline classes. We are all in the institution only. So it was a great session. Thank you very much, sir, for your ready acceptance. And I also take this opportunity to thank Kanti Research Labs Private Limited, who has given a panel of a plethora of wonderful speakers contacts, and all of them are really great. And I would like to extend my thanks to Shika Sharma ma'am, who is the CEO and MD of Kanti Sweets, for supporting us this webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Nutana, if there are no questions, I think we can conclude the session.
Yes, ma'am. On behalf of our college, once again, I thank you, Rajkumar sir, for accepting our invitation and delivering the talk, sir. Now let me propose vote of thanks to, today we are at the end of this webinar, 7 days webinar that is on entrepreneurship and development we had. So since it is the last day, I request respected principal ma'am and dear participants, on behalf of our college, I am happy to propose a vote of thanks to our eminent speakers. First one is Dr. Anuradha ma'am, our dear principal ma'am. She has inspired us all. Thanks for explaining us, ma'am, about the principles and practices of writing project proposals and reports, and also enlightening us on it. We express our gratitude for the same, ma'am. And the next one is Parag Vilas sir, Dr. Parag Vilas sir. So we are truly enriched by your talk, sir, on entrepreneurship and business opportunities. Thank you for that, sir. And the other talk was done by Dr. Prasanna Vyahati, sir. He delivered a powerful talk on funding opportunities for entrepreneurs. We express our gratitude to you, sir. The next talk was taken by Professor Manoj Mishra, sir. His talk was on entrepreneurship as tool for global development. We extend our gratitude to you also, sir. Miss Rajni Balaji, ma'am, we are truly enriched by your talk, ma'am. Your talk was on marketing management. Thank you for accepting our invitation and delivering us the talk, ma'am. The next one is Miss Aarti Seem Neemkar, ma'am. Ma'am, we are glad by your talk. Your talk was on women entrepreneurship, the challenges and their opportunities. Thank you so much, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and giving us your talk. Next is Dr. Adarsha Gowda. Sir, we are truly stimulated by your talk on basics of food product development. Thank you for giving us the talk, sir. We extend our gratitude to you also. Next is Dr. S. Yella Reddy, sir. We express our gratitude, sir, for providing the success mantra for budding entrepreneurs. The next one is Dr. Jitendra Kumar, sir. We are immensely encouraged by your talk, sir, on innovations in life sciences. Neeta Mahadev, ma'am, we are really stirred up by your talk, ma'am, on legal basics of entrepreneurship. Thank you for delivering the talk, ma'am. And the last one is Rajkumar, sir. Today, we had a pleasant session on food product development. Thank you for accepting our invitation and delivering the talk, sir. I also thank all the participants, who all includes like all faculty members, outsiders, and all our dear students who actively participated and made this session successful. Thank you all once again. We'll be posting the feedback link. Overall feedback link is already posted. So please give us your valuable feedback. Thank you once again, everyone. Have a great day. Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Nutana, thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
All of them have given their feedback. I'll end the session.